UFC Noche is coming up this weekend, and today, guys, I have the complete betting guide for you with timestamps if you'd like to skip to any part of the video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels, guys. We are going to be going through the channel betting recap, confident picks, underdog opportunities, fights that I believe you should not be betting on. Then we are going to move on to my personal lock of the week, and we're going to close things off with any props that are available right now and making any ridiculous parlays. A little bit more of an unstructured part of the video. Again, timestamps will be there if you'd like to skip to any part of the video. Let's get into the first part of the video over here, guys, with the channel betting recap. And I am happy to report, everybody, that we did very well. We had another nice, clean sweep over here. So we had two official plays for UFC Paris, that being two single bets, one with William Gomez to win and one with Cowie Fernandez to win. Unfortunately, I was shocked to see the fun parlay not work out. The fun parlay, if you are new here, I throw $5 at a parlay that I like, and this with over 2.5 rounds on Imavov versus Baralho. This is actually a plus money parlay. I can't believe it. Gustafsson versus Fakhretdinov. I thought that fight was going to go the distance for sure, man, but hey, you know what? That's why I hate parlays in MMA, and I rarely do them, but we had two official plays, Cowie Fernandez to win. I was supremely confident in that guy. I don't know why people aren't on the Cowie Fernandez train. I think that guy is improving at a massive rate, and of course, William Gomez to get the job done. A little bit closer than I'd like, and that surprised me, and I do not, unless William Gomez is fighting a bum, I'm not going to be betting on him moving forward, because while I think he is a great fighter, he makes things a little too close for my liking, okay? So we had another clean sweep. We've been doing very well with the betting, guys. If you would like to see what I am betting on each week, then you can check out the channel membership in the pinned comment description down below, or right next to the subscribe button every single Friday or Saturday, depending on whether or not I'd like to bet on Friday fights. Usually, I'm just a UFC bettor, but I am rapidly learning of other organizations, and I'm very involved in LFA. So if you'd like to see any of that, either support the channel membership is very cheap compared to other channels. I'll be posting exactly what I'm doing with my money. Additionally, OddsGym is a partner of the channel. If you want to sign up to OddsGym, you can get a discount using my link in the pinned comment description down below and code Clenbat. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Let's get into the confident picks for today. Now, I will note, I absolutely hate this card for betting. I hate it. There's only like, we'll keep it a little bit of a secret, but there's only two fights on this card that I think that I'm like, okay, you know what, I actually do like these picks. But the first confident pick is going to be Alessandro Costa. Now, Alessandro Costa is a fighter that, if you've been following the channel, I think is supremely underrated, and I can't believe that he's even like lost to guys like, and I don't mean to say guys like Steve Erceg and Amir Albazi, but it's just shocking to me that he has such a good skill set. The guy impresses me every single time that he wins, but he doesn't always put it together. But for Alden Correa right now, I think that he's getting thrown into an absolute beast within the UFC because he is still relatively untested, and Alessandro Costa is an underrated warrior. I think no matter where the fight goes, Alessandro Costa will be better, and he is a very confident pick of mine. Let's continue on over to the next fight. It's going to be Alexander Hernandez. Guys, if you've been following the channel, you might know that I had a sneaky suspicion that Alexander Hernandez was improving, and he just stopped the train of Chase Hooper. And guys, that was not a fraud check. He beat a very quality and improving version of Chase Hooper. Now, if this were Diego Ferreira in his prime, I'd pick Ferreira 100%. But I was waiting for a long time for Father Time to actually show up with Diego Ferreira, and it did. He's 40 years old, almost 41 years old. In his last fight, he looked incredibly slow, and he's taking on a Hernandez that is still in his prime, and a Hernandez that, in my opinion, is improving, and a Hernandez that's coming in, staying active, and on a great side of momentum. So this is a fight, and again, like, I would be saying very different things about this fight if we're talking about prime Diego Ferreira, but with the Diego Ferreira that's going to be likely against, the version of Alexander Hernandez that we have here, I'm very confident in saying Alexander Hernandez is going to get the job done. I think he's going to keep his momentum continuing, okay? Now, let's circle on over to LFA for the next bout. We have Christina Browder versus Mackenzie Stiller. And depending on what the odds look like for this fight, I'm actually considering betting on this fight. I'm not going to bet if it's like a heavy favorite or everything, because it's, at the end of the day, it's still WMMA, and I'm very careful about WMMA. But Mackenzie Stiller is a WMMA fighter that I don't think I've been that impressed watching a prospect in a very long time. Now, I know that she had a hiccup just about a year ago. I know. I get it, okay? But when she wins, and especially in her last performance, she actually has phenomenal technique when it comes to any sort of clinch work, throws, ground and pound submissions. Her top game is incredible, and I believe she's going to be able to implement that same game plan against Christina Browder, and I really think there is a talent difference over here. Mackenzie Stiller is it's rare that I see a WMMA fighter that I'm like, okay, wow, we actually have some talent over here. So if there are like reasonable lines for this fight, then I'll absolutely bet on Mackenzie Stiller. But if it's going to be like a big favorite or something, like I just need it to be worth my time. This is a bet that I'm considering placing, so look out for her. I think that she has some major potential, okay? Let's continue on over to the next bout and my next confident pick. It's going to be Jared Gordon, guys. I think that Jared Gordon is a very underrated fighter. He's been getting a lot of bad luck. He's on a little bit of a momentum, and even the losses that he's had shouldn't have been losses. Paddy Pimblett, Nasrat Haqparast, and Rafa Garcia has just been unimpressive. I think that Jared Gordon will be able to... I would imagine this is going to be like a boxing, kickboxing fight. I think that Jared Gordon is just going to be a little bit better. He's been on a roll, too. Like, Jared Gordon's been looking good, man. A little bit of a gut feeling this one. I like Jared Gordon in this fight. Let's continue on to the final confident pick that I have for you guys. And keep in mind that of all the confident picks here, this is the least confident pick to the point where I almost didn't include it, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit too. It's going to be Isaiah Pinston. And it's more so because, like, we still have questions, first of all, about how good Glendale actually is, but Isaiah is one of those guys who's been training with Chidi Ninja Kawani, and you can see a little bit of that style coming out when you watch him fight. He's very, very good in the clinch. He has a lot of heart too. Like, he's one of those fighters that I see a lot of potential in, and I think that he's probably going to get past Glendale Whitney, but the problem is Glendale Whitney, while he's won, he's still unproven, so I'm a little bit iffy on this one. I don't like this one to bet, but like I said, I almost didn't include this on the confident picks. It's just one that I think Isaiah Pinston's going to win the fight. But let's continue on, guys, over to some underdog opportunities. These are not bets that I will be making. They're just like, if you're looking for straight value, these wouldn't shock me at all, okay? The first one's going to be Jesus Aguilar. I don't think that Jesus is the greatest fighter in the world, don't get me wrong, but he's taken on Louis Gruel, who has, like, we've seen him in the Contender Series. He came in and lost to Ode Osborne, which there wasn't really anything to, like, note in that fight. I could see Jesus Aguilar maybe getting a submission in this one. It's just, I don't think that Jesus should be the underdog. That's how I feel about this fight. It could go either way, but I don't think that should be the underdog. And now, speaking of underdog opportunities, this is one that I'm considering betting on. Dustin Soltzfus is an underdog against Kelvin Gastelum. I can get 3 times my money at the time of recording this video for betting against Kelvin Gastelum. That's crazy. Kelvin's barely been able to put a win together, and Dustin Soltzfus, he's an okay fighter. Like, it's not like Kelvin Gastelum's taking on some bum. I don't understand. This is like, I think it's just incorrect odds. I do. At the very least, like, if you're going to have him at an underdog, like 3-1, really? That's something that I'm considering just throwing money at, because I don't trust Kelvin anymore. Kelvin Gastelum's exiting his prime. He looked horrible against Joe Pyfer. He barely got by Daniel Rodriguez, and Daniel Rodriguez sucks too. Like, he's not good anymore. Dustin Stoltzfus, in my opinion, should be the favorite here. That is absolutely an underdog opportunity. But let's continue on to a few fights, guys, that I don't believe you should be betting on this weekend. And the first one's going to be Rodrigo Cesniado taking on Daniel Donchenko. You have 2 fighters that have been looking good, but they are completely 100% unproven. I think this fight is very difficult to call. I wouldn't bet on it. And a little bit of the opposite for Jose Medina and Dusko Tordovic. You have 2 fighters that haven't been able to put anything together. So I wouldn't bet on this one either, to be honest with you, because both guys haven't been looking good. And finally, we have Alice Pereira taking on Montserrat Rendon. Alice Pereira, the thing is, I want to say, like, okay, this girl shouldn't be the favorite because we don't know anything about her. But Montserrat Rendon is, like, beyond garbage. It's tough because the UFC is hyping up Alice Pereira right now. She fought nobody, okay? Like, even just look at the records over here. Look where they've come from. There is absolutely nothing of significance here that Alice Pereira has taken on. And if you go and watch anything from her, I haven't really seen anything to note where it's like, oh, watch out for this prospect. I'd be careful with this one. I wouldn't bet, but the problem is Montserrat Rendon also sucks. I'm staying away from this one, okay? I'm staying far, far away from this one. But with that said, guys, let's continue on over to Lock of the Week, the fighter on the card that I am most confident in to get the job done. If you've been following the channel, you might see this coming. Zachary Reese to beat Cedricus Dumas. You have a fighter who is a capable, talented fighter versus somebody who shouldn't even be in the UFC. Cedricus Dumas is a bad fighter. And there is no way in hell he's going to beat Zachary Reese unless it's the luckiest chinning shot that he could get off. Zachary Reese will be better at any point in this fight throughout 3 rounds. He is a max play type of fighter, in my opinion, over here, okay? Zachary Reese is he's going to win the fight. He's going to win the fight. Cedricus Dumas has nothing for him. And, like, I'm saying this and I can just imagine him getting chinned, and then it's going to look horrible on me. No, he shouldn't lose this fight. Zachary Reese is by far the most confident pick on this card. Okay, now guys, let's continue on to the more unstructured part of the video over here, that being looking for any props that are available right now, and then taking a look at any parlays that we can make over here. And I got a little bit confused because I just saw the Dana White's Contender Series thing on here, but what do we have over here? Okay, for Saturday, we have, plus money for Alessandro Costa at over 2.5. I don't really hate that, to be honest with you, but does anything like really scream out to us? This is over 2.5, under 2.5. If you feel like taking a risk over there, you can get what, depending on like whichever you want, over 2.5 and under 2.5. We also have Alice Pereira. No, nothing over here. Over 1.5 for Cedric Dumas and Zachary Reese. Man, I guess they're betting on Cedric Dumas getting finished, eh? Amanda Lemos, Tatiana Suarez. You know, I don't hate over 2.5. Amanda Lemos has a, you know, she could survive. Interesting how there's a lot of like close odds for these fights. Nothing that I really like to sit down on, to be honest with you, but let's take a look at what we can make for some fun parlays over here. Let me bring you over to, there we go, we got it, okay? Now, if you've been following the channel, something my sister and I do every single week is we throw 10 cents on every single, underdog. Sorry, why don't we have odds for Suarez and Lemos, but it doesn't really matter, right? Diego Lopez, Gene Silva. You know, I thought about talking about this fight, but I didn't, you know. I like Gene Silva to win this fight. It's just it's an entirely tough one, to be honest. Also, I've been, there we go. That's what we want to do. Sorry, I had the wrong OBS scene up. But what are we going to get for 10 cents over here? 18,000. It could be better. Could be better. But let's make a parlay, okay? Alessandro Costa, we're going to put, that's not worth it, but let's make a confident picks parlay, okay? Alessandro Costa, Alexander Hernandez. We are going to pick, that's tempting, man. Very, very, very tempting. We're going to pick Jared Gordon. Oh, Rob Font. Oh, crap. I didn't talk about Rob Font, did I? What's wrong with me? I like Rob Font to beat David Martinez. Rob Font. And Zachary Reese. That's not too bad, but with MMA parlays, man, something is absolutely bound to go wrong. What are two fighters that we like? Zachary Reese definitely being one of them. Definitely, okay? And you know what? It might just be Alexander Hernandez. What is it? Was Alexander Hernandez? Yeah, there he is. Not bad. Not bad. I like Alexander Hernandez a lot in that matchup, to be honest with you guys. But even then, you could do Alessandro Costa over there to get a little bit of juice. Maybe Alexander Hernandez and Alessandro Costa. That's over. That's plus money right there, which I don't mind at all. But what about a couple underdogs, okay? Yeah, well, that's something you'd want to bet by itself. Honestly, eh? That's tough, man. I like Gene Silva to win this fight. I just think Diego Lopez is phenomenal. Diego Lopez should have been an underdog opportunity I was talking about. For odds like that, that's crazy. I should have talked about both Rob Font and Diego Lopez. But yeah, there's a couple things you could do over here to get plus money, but if anything, I would fit Alessandro Costa with something, maybe a prop or something. There's anything that I like to go over 1.5. Kelvin Gastelum, Dustin Solsfist, maybe over 1.5, depending on what that ends up being. I don't mind that. It's two tough guys. I don't see Kelvin Gastelum finishing anybody anymore either, so I'd expect that to go over 1.5. If you want plus money, Zach Reese and Cedric Dumas, but there is some potential this week, but there are also a lot of landmines. Let me know what you think about everything down below. Check out the full card breakdown right here. I'd love to have you over there. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.